I need this? I'll hold this up. Yeah, okay, very good. Hi. First of all, I want to thank Linda for the fact that this event. This is well deserved. This is not just. I come to recall as we were driving over here how it was we connected exactly when, but I promised that I would go into my email and determine that. But the last, I'm going to make up a number, 9 months, 10 months of this correspondence has brought an incredible kind of joy and lightness into my life as I've watched this project move forward. And she's an amazing woman, and that's part of what's making this so special. Very well deserved. Very well so tonight. So my name is Andy Leavitt. I am here by sheer chance. Okay? I am not a poet, and I have not contributed excellent music like we have up here. But as a second-year medical student, I kind of fell for a woman in my class who happened to be Catherine Rexroth, and that's where we met and went on to live together for a while. Got married about 6-7 years later, I forget, whatever. She was a truly remarkable woman, just a breadth of knowledge, and her humanity were just unparalleled in anybody I've ever met. And so for that I'm very grateful, and it's through her that I kind of have this knowledge of Kenneth. In fact, it was shortly after I started watching her in class that in fact she went home to his funeral. So I never met him. But I lived the next many... Excuse me.
Medical emergency on your wall.
Yeah. No. I got that covered. So, and now I've lost my train of thought. I'm sorry. So Kenneth, who third wife was Martha, and Martha and Kenneth created, shall we say, Mary, the older daughter, and Catherine, who was my wife. But I did live many years in close proximity with Martha, and so I learned a lot about their lives together and things that happened. And I must say that for those of you who've read certain things, obviously there might be some tumultuous moments in all of that, and I'm not convinced I really know the truth, but I'm not sure anybody knows the truth about anything, including themselves. So I think I've got a reasonable I'm having more fun than I ever imagined. I hope you don't walk out. Okay. I heard many stories, and I believe Kenneth was, in fact, at times a difficult individual, but I also became to realize that he was quite a brilliant individual, and sometimes they intermix sometimes. And I had the good fortune of, oh gosh, now I'm going to make this up, 7-8 years ago, I decided that it was very sad that Martha would die someday, and she had this knowledge that would go to the grave with her and nobody would know it, because there's all these things that people who've lived through those periods in the 40s and the 50s and the 60s in an area of San Francisco, and I'm not trying to give any special, to shout out to anybody, but it truly was, as far as I can tell, a remarkably organic and explosive and fascinating environment. And she lived through the whole thing right in the center of it. And there's so much of it that would just go away if she vanished. And I won't give you all to connect all the dots, but by sheer luck, after I posed the idea to somebody at Berkeley that they should find a really bright student to do an oral history with Martha, I got a phone call about a week and a half later, and I found it on the machine, and it said, "Hi, this is Robert Hass, can you give me a phone call?" And he had heard through this woman that I was looking for someone to do an oral history, and so for the next year plus, I got to spend about once a month or so a morning with Robert and Brenda, and then a student of Robert's, Doug. I love this guy. I'm blanking. It's so embarrassing. And they just interviewed her, and they recorded it all. And I heard all these stories, and so I learned a tremendous amount. And in hearing it being extracted by somebody who is as savvy with words and also just engages individuals like Bob and Brenda as well, it's where I really learned about him. He was actually a very interesting man. And not to plug this, but that was going to turn into a book that Bob was going to throw in the library at Berkeley for some student someday who wanted to research it, but in fact Brenda decided it should be a website, which will actually, I think, go live before the end of the year. So it has these interviews, and I hope they're not too silly, but we're having a lot of fun doing it, the four of us. So that will come out. And I don't really know what else I have to say up here. I'm just incredibly tickled to be here. This truly is the highlight of many months past and many months, I'm sure, into the future of my life. Just the build-up has been amazing. And I almost don't know, I was thinking, I didn't prepare a lot. I hope it doesn't show. It's because I figured I would just say whatever came to my mind. And I hope I've given you this. That's jazz. That's right. And then I thought, while I was sitting there, that I would say, does anybody have any questions? So, if there's something that I can answer, or I will. And if not, that's fine too. So, but okay, because I did. Yes, hello.
Hi, wasn't Rexroth's wasn't it an accident? Wasn't his parents, his mother, in labor on the train from Chicago and had to get off in South Bend, or is that just a death?
I know nothing about that. That's in the back. In the back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you have a favorite story about Rexroth, or a surprising story?
The truth is, I don't think I have a lot of amazing stories about him. I guess one story that came up during one of these interviews was when they lived in a part of town near Lake Street. In fact, it was okay, yes, actually I can think of a couple of stories, and then I'll be done, okay? I'm sorry. So Martha was the breadwinner, of course, right? And so she was at work all day, but he did all the shopping. He decided what was going into the refrigerator, and he was making the food. Their whole family, I'm told, I didn't eat his food, but an incredible cook. They were foodies decades and decades before, and that's actually where through Catherine, that I realized that food didn't just come in a can. I grew up in a small town in Michigan. So that's the story. There was another, this is the story I'm going to tell you, and then that's it, and I'll get off this thing. So I remember, I grew up in Flint, Michigan.
All right.
Yeah, about me. So I get my hair tested periodically. So not out of time. And I say that just to give you, and obviously everybody had an opinion, right? So you have a sense. I grew up. It's a car town, et cetera. And she grew up in San Francisco at a time of incredible dynamism. And so I remember one time I was talking to Catherine just about kind of our fathers or something. And I said, yeah, I know my dad got to go to work. And she said, I'm having a hard time envisioning what my career is going to be like, because when I was a little girl, I would go off to school and my father would go to work by making a tub of hot water in which he would read all day the 6 or 7 books that came the day before because he had to review them. So her vision of work was sitting in a hot tub and reading books for review.